Sandra was in trouble. She had 3 young children, and she had no money, no job, no husband. Life is difficult when you are a single mother, but Sandra loved her young family and wanted to give them a good and happy life. Day after day, she read the local newspapers and called for jobs, but nothing worked out. Every phone call and every interview was unsuccessful. It was time to try something new. Sandra went to see her lawyer, Michael Grant. "I'm smart, I'm hardworking, and I'll do anything. Please give me a job," she told him. It was a strange way to find a job, but Sandra did what she had to do. She wanted to be a good person and a good mother. Sandra was not like other office workers. She did not always speak politely. She did not wear dark suits, and she fearlessly gave her opinions. She worked hard, organizing papers into piles and boxes every day. But the work was too boring for a smart woman like Sandra. Soon, she began reading some of the letters and lawyers' papers to make her days more interesting. Sandra was a careful worker and wanted to do her job well. One day, she found some people's health papers mixed with their house papers in the same box. This was strange. Why are these together? Maybe there's a mistake, she said to herself. She started looking at the big pile of papers, one page at a time. It seemed that a large electricity company, Southern Gas and Electric Company, SGC, wanted to buy hundreds of houses in the small town of Ashwell, close to their electricity plant. But why? More importantly, why were the house owners' health papers kept in the same box? It was a mystery. Sandra couldn't sleep that night. She was worried. Did SGC want to hide something? Were the people of Ashwell safe? Sandra was already busy with her own problems. She didn't have much time to worry about others. But deep inside, Sandra felt that something was wrong. Could she solve the mystery? She needed more information. The next day, she spoke to her boss, Michael. With his help, Sandra started looking more closely at the papers. Sandra found more and more strange papers in the Ashwell box. She realized that there was a big problem. She loved her family and wanted to spend more time with them. She wanted to watch her children grow up. But people in Ashwell were very sick, and only Sandra knew about it. She wanted to help them. So she bravely decided to solve the Ashwell mystery alone. Sandra visited people in Ashwell and spoke to them about SGC, their houses, and their health. She wanted to find out the real story. Sandra was not a lawyer. She was friendly and interesting, and the people of Ashwell liked talking to her. They told her that SGC was a good company. It made their water safe, paid for their hospital tests, and offered good jobs. But Sandra was not so sure. Sandra always got what she wanted. Now she needed help and information. She was working alone, but this did not stop her. She called and visited doctors and lawyers. She talked to anyone who could help her, and every day she worked hard. And at last, she got the piece of information that she wanted. SGC was poisoning the water near Ashwell. SGC is one of the biggest companies in the UK. It was liked and trusted by people, but Sandra realized that the company told lies. They said that the water was safe, but they were poisoning it. Sandra was not rich, powerful, or famous. She was not even a lawyer. But she decided to fight against SGC for the people of Ashwell. She knew that she had to help in every possible way. How many people were poisoned in Ashwell? Was anyone in danger? Sandra returned to the town to find out. People knew Sandra now. They trusted her and honestly told her their health problems. Hundreds of people in Ashwell had terrible illnesses, and some were dying. As Sandra listened to the problems and worries in these people's lives, she got very angry. SGC knew that it was killing people. It was expensive to clean the water from its electricity plant, so the dirty water ran into Ashwell's river and drinking water. Now the company wanted to buy the houses and keep it secret. It was not worried about the people who were getting sick. It was worried about the huge payments to those people. At that time, money was a big problem for Michael Grant, too. Sandra's work was crucial. He understood that, but lawyers only earn money when they win cases. It was nearly impossible for a small law office to win against SGC. Michael was scared, but he was also brave. He believed in Sandra, and her courage and hard work helped them survive through the toughest times. Sandra's work for the people of Ashwell lasted more than 6 years. During that challenging time, Sandra and Michael formed a strong team. As Sandra talked to different people, her name and face became famous in the town. She had to be careful, though. She did not want SGC to know about her work. As more people told their stories, Sandra got the information she wanted. She worked longer and longer hours. She still had a family to look after, too. Her body and mind were tired, but she knew that quick action was important. Finally, it was time to fight SGC. Sandra and Michael sent 523 notices for lawsuits from their small office to the large, expensive offices of SGC. It was brave, but was it crazy? SGC was a dangerous enemy. Was this the end for Michael's company? When SGC received the notices for the lawsuits, its lawyers immediately saw the danger. The sick people of Ashwell wanted a lot of money from the company. More lawyers were brought in on both sides. The lawsuits were too big for Sandra and Michael alone. But Sandra continued to work on them. The Ashwell people were her friends now. She truly loved them, and she knew more about their lives and problems than anyone. So Sandra, Michael, and the lawyers from other companies worked together to do their best for the people of Ashwell. After months of hard work, powerful lawyers in expensive clothes filled a small courtroom. SGC bosses sat quietly in their chairs, trying not to look worried. Sandra was nervous and excited. She thought about her friends in Ashwell, and she remembered the long years behind her. When the judge spoke his final words, she listened quietly. SGC had to pay $254 million to the people of Ashwell. It was the largest amount of money for this type of lawsuit in the history of the United Kingdom. This also gave hope to other ordinary people and small law offices. And when SGC stopped poisoning the water at Ashwell, hundreds of people's lives were saved. After their fight against SGC, Sandra and Michael had enough money to stop working forever. But Sandra is still working for Michael's office. She is not a lawyer. She always liked to do things her own way, and she is still the same. But her health, her family, and the people of Ashwell are more important. So now she helps ordinary people who are fighting against big companies. Her bravery and hard work continue to help people and save lives.